Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to day 10 of our 2025 Vlogmas. We've had some interesting topics over the past few days, and I wanted to do a little switch here. So today I'm not going to talk about cake or cake decorating. What I'm talking about is cookie baking, Christmas cookie baking. I'm actually getting ready to start my cookie baking season for the holidays, and I just wanted to share with you how I go about doing things. Now, every year I have a folder. It's kind of messy, but I have a folder called Christmas baking recipes, and in it I have tons and tons of holiday recipes that I use throughout the years. These are recipes that I've collected, that friends have given me, and I've used them, and they're so good. So I kept them and I go back to them. Now each year I don't make all of the recipes. Sometimes I just run out of time, and sometimes I don't have the energy, and I will just pick and choose a few of them. And then I will get started on baking those in particular. Now, in years past, I would make about 14, 15 different types of cookies and bars and like stuff like puppy chow and things like that, and brittle. However, I have narrowed it down over the past few years because I'm getting older and it is getting much harder to do that. And then there are some years that instead of baking Christmas cookies, I will do Christmas breads. I believe it was 2 years ago, I did a mini bread Christmas where I baked a variety of different breads. I think I had about 5 different ones, and I made a bunch of mini breads, and I would make bread platters for everyone. And of course, I would also bake the infamous chocolate chip cookies to add them in there. So what I typically will do is I will take this folder, I will go through it, I will choose the ones that I decide to make for the season, and I will put them on this side. And then when I'm ready to write out my shopping list, I have them all here, and I can see what I have already and what I need to purchase at the grocery store to get started. And then when I'm finished shopping and I'm ready to make the doughs, I will pull out the recipes and use them accordingly. Now, my process when I'm making Christmas cookies has changed over the years. I used to take one type of cookie, make the dough and bake it that same day and decorate, and then the next day do another one, and it just seemed like it was much more time consuming doing it that way. So what I like to do now, I will make all of my cookie doughs. I wrap them in saran wrap in several times, and then I freeze them. And I put them in Ziploc bags, and then I freeze them. And then when I'm ready to start that particular cookie, I pull it out of the freezer, let it thaw, and then make that cookie. Sometimes I will dedicate a day where I will make about 3 different types of cookies. So I pull those cookies out of the freezer, let the dough thaw, and then I will make those. And then the next day, when I'm ready to make more, I pull those out of the freezer, and it just makes it so much easier for me when I make all of my dough ahead of time and freeze it, and then I have them ready. And it actually creates less of a mess also. Now, I have my 2 kitchens. I have my baking kitchen here in my cake studio, and then our regular kitchen upstairs. And what I like to do is use the kitchen upstairs to make the dough, because then all of the cleaning is done right there. When I'm baking cakes, I do not have a dishwasher down here. So what I do is when I'm making cakes for my cake business, I have wash basins, and I put all the dirty dishes in the wash basins, and then I take them upstairs and clean them up in my kitchen up there, because the dishwasher is up there and the sinks and everything. So what I will do at Christmas cookie baking time is make all the dough first, and I use the upstairs kitchen because then I can place all the dirty dishes right in the dishwasher. And Then when I'm baking, when I'm actually baking the Christmas cookies, I will bake down here in my cake studio because I have the baker's rack. I have my pantry with all the sprinkles and all the different decorations to put on them. I have my royal icing here, so when I make my decorated sugar cookies, I have the royal icing to decorate those sugar cookies in Christmas designs. So that is my process, and that is how I like to do things. And I would love to hear how you start your Christmas cookie baking. What is your process? Do you have a process? Are you looking for a process? I know the holidays, there's a lot to do, and with Christmas cookie baking, I always try to simplify it. Now, when everything's all done and I'm making up my Christmas cookie trays, I will make trays up for my husband and myself, and I make trays up for my daughter and her family, and then I give up out trays in the neighborhood to particular neighbors who are very close by to us and who are close to us. We don't have family that's living close by, except for my daughter and her family. So we like to be able to share the joy with our neighbors. This year, I've decided to not only bake Christmas cookies, but throughout the year, I also I'll make zucchini bread or cranberry orange bread or whatnot. So I add maybe one of those breads in with the cookies. I also do canning in the summertime. I've made corn relish, zucchini relish. I've made hot cherry peppers. They're called shooters, and they're stuffed with provolone and prosciutto, and they are in a jar with olive oil and a mixed oil, and which is really great. They're so delicious. And then I also make a homemade vanilla. So this year, I'm probably going to make a variety basket where I do some cookies and maybe a bread and then maybe some of my homemade canned goods to make it a little bit of a variety. So it's not just cookies all the time, because cookies are hard work to make. If you make them, you know. All right, folks, so hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.